Okay, I took some time and tore some paper up that I started the other day. I printed my pictures on index cards, and what I'm going to do is put a song on here and the pictures. But before I start that, and of course my bird, I'm still not going to attach the bird because I want the picture, one of my pictures under the bird. So I'm going to remove my photos, and some of the photos had dates on them. And even if I trimmed the pictures elsewhere, I wanted to keep the date that showed how old Larry was and I was. So also if I put more leaves, I'm not going to add it till later. I want to match up when it opens and closes this small page. So right now I'm just going to show you how I add the collage factors. And I said I was going to use acrylic medium matte gel, but I might use some clear gesso, which is a little bit thicker, and add some water. I'm not sure. So right now I'm just making the page a little more naked, and these ones here are going on the underpage, so I'm not even going to do those right now. I'm just going to push those aside. Let's see, maybe I can get this part in vision a little bit more. There we go. Let's see. Okay. So all you do for this, you don't want a whole lot of water. They don't have to be really neat, although I wanted this corner dragonfly to be here. So I'm going to start with that piece because I would really like that right in the corner. And I really can't decide if I'm going to use gel matte or the thick. So I'm going to put a little bit of both on here and see what I like. This is very thick. But it spreads really nicely, and it's a dry a clear gesso, and it does dry clear. So we might try both. So I'm just going to brush some of this gesso on. I'm going to do it right about the amount, and I have a paper in here to collect any excess so my pages won't stick together. And I put some underneath, attach the piece I want, and then I put some over the edges and through it. I had this idea because I'm using photos this time and not just paper. I had the idea of using some distress glaze over the faces, especially of the photos, and maybe the dates of the photos. So when I do add acrylic paint, it will not be obvious. I'm just going to try the clear matte on top of this. So I put the gesso underneath, I'm putting the clear on top. Now, it doesn't really matter position of all this stuff, but I'm trying to leave some white space for journaling and room for painting or adding texture paint. So I think while it's wet, I'll put a couple pieces on. Now I'm adding the matte gel on top, a piece of fuzz there. And if you find any corners that didn't go down, wet them well so they do go down. You don't really want it thick with any globs. If it goes over the edge and it's not straight, we can straighten that out later. Now, I talked before about putting washi tape down the middle. I'm not sure if I want washi tape here, so I'm going to maybe add it later, and if I do, find sort of a neutral color so it won't show up near the edges of the pictures. So this is probably a wee bit more planned than I usually do. I'm putting some over here because my bird picture will probably be collaged on top of it a little too. Whoops. I guess that's still showing. And let's see how far it goes. It goes right to the edge. I'm just going to glue down part of this and not collage on top of it because I want that picture to be under there. So I'm not going to put a little there, but I'm going to leave this open so that this can go under. And I'll probably put a little edge of ink around that. But we're going to just let that stay upright. Okay. Well, I think that's all the collage that I'm going to do right now. I have a little bit left on my paper, and I don't really want to waste it. So maybe I'll gently put some on the next page. See, I've already laid out my pictures. So I take them off. My pictures in my song, and my Bible verse. That's what's going on the second page. But since I have, I think that's dry enough that I'm going to do that. I'm going to add my corners here. So let's use up what we have on our page. Except I'm going to put a cover page under my page. Put that right in the corner. I've sort of mixed the two mediums here. And the only reason I started this is I didn't want to waste them. So I have a little bit more on my spatula. And a little more on my paper. So I'm not wanting to waste it. I needed more. Let's see. It doesn't even show, does it? Okay, let's move this over a little. So I made a big glop here. So I'm going to spread that around a bit. Put some on top. Take that off. Okay. Now, we can always trim the collage pieces afterwards if we have too much. And at the end of the collage, I'm just going to add this light color up here. So when this dries, I might add some more, but my next step will be to start adding the decorative pieces and the photos. Oh no, that's not true. My next step will be adding some inking because I decided I'm not going to use acrylic paints on this. I am going to use the same ones the same close to my heart ink that I used to do my leaves in step in that step. I'm going to just burnish this a little. It seems like it's not sticking really well. Maybe even just a little bit of moisture to get that glue to spread around. There we go. Okay. Now, I'll let this dry before I start the next step. And I'm going to open this up. Remember, I left that tail there, and I'll let this dry. Now, to keep it open, I'm actually going to take just something underneath and put it on this half page so that there'll be air circulating all around my picture. So, other than the part I'm putting something under, this is adhered down, and I might just do ink for the rest of the decoration. So we'll ink next step. God bless. See you soon.